This video is sponsored by Artlist. Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Peter DeBuslo, and in today's video we're going to be going over a lighting technique that is kind of new to me, and I've been playing around with it for the last couple of weeks. And I decided to make a video about it just because of how this lighting diffuser can make your videos look a lot more realistic and softer. So in today's video, we're going to be going over that lighting tutorial and what this light is and how to mainly use it. Now, I also have the behind the scenes camera over here on my FX3. And then this right here is the Red Gemini, which is going to be ideally the overall look that we're going to be displaying. And this is just going to be the behind the scenes camera showing on what I'm doing and how the whole light fixture is working on our whole setup here. Now, this is my studio / office area. I built it from scratch with my buddy Frank, and I decided to do this whole lighting technique here just because we have a lot of unique colors. We have a vintage looking set, and I feel like we can play around with this image and make it look fun, make it look cool. The FX3 is going to capture everything right now, basically lighting this whole scene. So over here we have the parabolic umbrella wrapped around with the diffuser around it. Now you can get this umbrella in so many different sizes. The bigger the umbrella, the more of the light is going to be wrapping around your subject, or the softer it's going to be. We also have the diffuser in front of it, which you can see right here. It's like your standard diffuser, but this diffuser is actually made for this umbrella. Now, I bought this diffuser made for a 7-foot umbrella. Mine, I believe, is like only 5 or 6. So it would still work. But as you see, we have a hole inside the middle of the diffuser, and that's where our light is going to be going through. Our light's going to be going through. We have this hole here. We're going to seal that hole with the string. No light is able to escape that. Light is going to be shooting into the umbrella. And then after, it's going to be bouncing back, going through this diffuser. And that's where the parabolic word is coming from. The umbrella is going to give us more of a parabolic lighting. It's going to wrap around our subject. It's going to give us unique catch lights. It's going to create such a soft look in our image. And this video is going to kind of demonstrate on how to use this parabolic umbrella in your next videos, or just to overall use this kind of lighting setup on whatever video you guys are shooting on. Now, the one reason why I would highly recommend going with the parabolic umbrella is because, one, it's cheap, easy to set up, and it doesn't take up that much room. Now, as you can see, I got it on my C-stand over here only because we're going to be doing a couple scenes with it above me, and then we're going to be putting it over here to mimicking the practical light. And yeah, so the light I'm going to be putting inside this parabolic umbrella is going to be the small rig RC60B, only because I can change the Kelvin temperature in the light itself to match my practical to make it look more realistic. But the first lighting setup we're going to do is we're going to boom it overhead to make it look like we have sealant light coming down on us to give us much of a more realistic look. And we're going to see what that looks with the red. And I'm going to keep the FX3 on, and we're going to show on the whole setup and what this light is going to look like after it's boomed above me. Okay, so now we have the parabolic umbrella boomed above us, and this lighting situation is to basically mimic a sealant light as if we were in an actual basement. You know, if we had our lights turned on basically, and then we still had the practical turned on. But I feel like the practical might be a little too bright, only because I had that on at 100% in the beginning of the video just because it was the only light I was using. So now I feel like I can bring this light down a bit just to give us more of an actual realistic, more of a realistic image. Now I'm not even too sure on what this, on what the light is set to for percentage wise, but I don't have a long enough boom arm to actually bring it directly above me. So it's kind of over here. Most importantly, you would want to have the light above to give more of an accurate looking image of a sealant light because it's lighting directly above us. Now, what this light is doing is basically giving us these harsh shadows underneath our face, more of a realistic look as if we were actually in a basement or if we were somewhere that had sealant lights lighting this entire setup. But in this case, obviously we don't. We got the small rig RC60B set to a certain temperature, kind of basically to match the practical. And the only reason why I'm matching it is because, I mean, I think having that more of a vintage, warmer look in this kind of a studio setup, I think it just matches more instead of having the color temperature at a 5600 Kelvin. It just kind of creates more of a realistic looking image rather than making this at white. And that's the one benefit of using the small rig light, is because I can change the temperature in this light to match whatever source I am shooting with or against. In this case, we are shooting against the practical, and that's why I have this set to a warmer tone instead of a whiter tone.
You know, Mike, they say laughter is the best medicine.
Yeah, well, my doctor still insists on antibiotics.
Speaking of medicine, you ever tried a laughter prescription?
Nah, but I've mastered the art of comedy vitamins. A dose of Netflix and stand-up specials.
You know what's even better than a good joke?
What?
2 months free of Artlist for the perfect comedic soundtrack for our adventures, bro.
Now that's the kind of prescription I can get behind. Are you a content creator searching for the perfect audio to elevate your projects? Well, Artlist has your back. With a user-friendly platform, you'll have access to a fast, growing library filled with unlimited and royalty-free music and sound effects, including templates and footage. From cinematic scores to upbeat tunes, our diverse range of genres ensures there's something for everyone. Need a specific sound effect? We've got you covered with over 29 already available in our library. Experience the freedom to create without worrying about license restrictions. By purchasing an Artlist annual subscription, you'll receive 2 additional months for free. Link in the description below. Okay, so now I have my parabolic umbrella right over here onto the camera, or my side, or my right side, camera left. Really doing is emulating this practical to kind of make it look like it's brighter, but realistically, this light wouldn't be able to light this entire scene. So that's why we kind of want to emphasize on that practical light to make it look like it is lighting the scene, but it really isn't. What we can also do is we can bring down the practical just a little bit more, just like that. Now the only thing is that the parabolic umbrella is actually lighting the back here a little bit too much, so I'm gonna bring this umbrella a little closer. So now that's looking actually a little bit better. The only thing is that this C-stand is kind of too tall for this shot. I would really want that umbrella to be a little bit more eye level. We can actually bring the brightness down a little bit more, maybe make it a little bit more moody. And another thing we can also make this whole scene look even a little bit better is maybe even add some atmospheric spray or fog, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna see if I got some, but I'm gonna bring the brightness down on this light a little bit and see what that's gonna look like. Probably a little too much, but it kind of relates to the practical on how low that practical is. Now, one thing what we can also do is maybe bring up this practical a little bit more, just to emphasize on that light to make it look a little bit more better. Now, I would highly recommend buying some RGB light bulbs to put in your light fixtures or your lamps, because that's what I'm using right now, and totally game changer. And I can literally adjust the brightness of what I want this light to be. That's just overpowering it now. And yeah, so I just feel like this whole shot setup looks to be the more or most realistic setup. As you want to shoot shadow side, have the light opposite side, so we create those textures, or create this shadow side, recreate that shadow side in our face, and that's what gives us that whole cinematic look. Now we're gonna actually change, I got the 50 mil on this Red Gemini, and we're gonna change it to a 35 mil. We're gonna see what that looks like. I love this wireless follow focus, the Axoon. I did pick up the PD Movie LiDAR. I hate the LiDAR. Like, it's just too much crap to play around with. Looking at my Red Gemini monitor, I'm gonna bring this light down just a tad. I'm not even sure what that is. Now this might be too dark, but I just feel like this kind of looks a little bit more natural looking. Thanks for watching. If you guys are new here, press that notification button so you guys are notified when my next video is going to be uploaded. We'll see you guys on the next video.